President Trump is vowing to buy a Tesla after the company's stock plunged. Critics blame CEO Elon Musk's focus on his White House role for the stock slide, while protesters are targeting Tesla dealerships.
The electric vehicle maker owned by Elon Musk is warning the U.S. government that American exporters could be harmed by countries retaliating against tariffs imposed by Donald Trump.
Tesla also alerting the Trump administration about the impact of tariffs. Shares on pace for another week in the red, adding to those historic declines over the prior few months.
Tesla just lost $127 billion in market value in one day. Not from a product failure or CEO scandal, but from Trump's tariff war backfiring in spectacular fashion. What happens when the self-proclaimed business genius destroys America's EV leader with a single policy decision? Tesla vehicles now cost $10,000 more, while sales in China have plummeted by 50%. This isn't making America great again. It's making American companies broke again. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Tesla's nightmare just became a devastating reality.
The company has sent an unsigned letter outlining its concerns on the same day that Mr. Trump praised Tesla at an event at the White House. Here's Lily Jamali. The electric vehicle maker owned by Elon Musk is warning the U.S. government that American exporters could be harmed by countries retaliating against tariffs imposed by Donald Trump.
The electric vehicle pioneer has been sent into an absolute tailspin by Trump's tariff tornado, and the damage is spreading faster than anyone predicted. What we're witnessing isn't just a bad day for Elon Musk. It's an economic catastrophe that's ravaging Tesla's entire operation, from production lines to profit margins. The tariff hammer has dropped with brutal force on Tesla's manufacturing costs. Every vehicle rolling off the assembly line now costs thousands more to produce as critical imported components face punishing new tax rates. The company's carefully crafted supply network has been thrown into absolute chaos.
The electric vehicle maker owned by Elon Musk is warning the U.S. government that American exporters could be harmed by countries retaliating against tariffs imposed by Donald Trump.
After surging following Trump's election win, Tesla's share price has plunged, losing around half its value since peaking in December, falling back to pre-election levels.
Parts that once flowed smoothly from factories in Mexico and Asia are now stuck in a tariff-induced traffic jam, forcing production slowdowns at the worst possible moment. Behind closed doors, Tesla executives are panicking. Their production costs have shot through the roof virtually overnight. The nightmare scenario that industry insiders warned about has materialized in spectacular fashion.
Sales have plummeted here.
I think his polarizing approach more recently, has turned some buyers off.
But it's Mr. Musk's politics that may be hurting Tesla most. His work as President Trump's government efficiency czar and his recent far-right leanings have drawn swift backlash.
Tesla's competitive advantage is evaporating before our eyes as they're forced to absorb massive new expenses on nearly every vehicle they manufacture. The global supply chain disaster has reached epic proportions. Tesla facilities that depend on international components now face excruciating delays. What was once a finely tuned operation has descended into a logistical mess with parts stuck at borders, waiting for clearance while tariff costs pile up.
This new administration, as these tariff and consumer headlines continue to hit the sector, Tesla by far the worst performer, that blue line at the bottom of that chart.
Tesla also alerting the Trump administration about the impact of tariffs. Shares on pace for another week in the red, adding to those historic declines over the prior few months.
Every day of delay is another hit to Tesla's bottom line in a market where timing and efficiency are everything. And who's swooping in to capitalize on Tesla's misfortune? None other than Chinese EV giant BYD. While Musk's company struggles to keep its head above water, Chinese competitors are feasting on Tesla's market share. The irony is almost too painful to comprehend. Policies supposedly designed to protect American business interests are directly benefiting Chinese manufacturers who can now position themselves as the more affordable alternative.
In terms of annual deliveries, a number of analysts are now saying Tesla will not hit 1.79 million in annual deliveries as it did last year.
President Trump is vowing to buy a Tesla after the company's stock plunged. Critics blame CEO Elon Musk's focus on his White House role for the stock slide, while protesters are targeting Tesla's dealerships.
The consequences for consumers couldn't be more devastating. Tesla has been forced to slap price increases of $5,000 to $10,000 on their vehicles as they desperately try to offset the tariff tsunami. These aren't minor adjustments. They're game-changing hikes that put Tesla cars further out of reach for average Americans. The company famous for making electric vehicles more accessible is now watching its customer base shrink by the day. But the most heartbreaking part of this disaster isn't happening on Wall Street. It's unfolding in communities across America. Over 12,000 jobs in the EV industry are hanging by a thread as companies scramble to adjust to the new economic reality. Layoffs have already begun at factories across Texas, California, and New York.
% after their worst trading day in 5 years. The stock has dropped every week since Chief Executive Elon Musk went to Washington, wiping out more than $700 billion in market value.
There's no real leadership. It is at the bottom of his list. And so we have not had a CEO focused on selling EVs, on growing the company.
Real American workers with families to support are being shown the door while politicians claim they're helping American businesses. The bitter truth is becoming impossible to ignore. Tesla's stock crash isn't some random market fluctuation. It's the direct result of tariff policies that have made their vehicles dramatically less competitive globally. In an industry where margins were already tight, these added costs have pushed Tesla into dangerous territory, and investors are fleeing in droves. Musk's political calculations have blown up in spectacular fashion. His vocal support for Trump has resulted in policies that are decimating his own company's value, while simultaneously giving his biggest rivals a golden opportunity to gain ground. The man once hailed as a business visionary now looks like he bet the company on the wrong political horse. The situation has reached such alarming proportions that industry analysts are openly questioning Tesla's long-term viability under these conditions. This isn't sustainable, one insider revealed. Something has to give, and soon. With every passing day of these tariff wars, Tesla's path forward becomes increasingly uncertain. The Tesla collapse has revealed the brutal truth about Trump's so-called America First strategy. It's actually putting America dead last in the global EV race. The fallout is devastating. A shocking 32% of American consumers now say they would never consider purchasing a Tesla, showing just how badly this policy disaster has damaged the American EV market. Industry experts are now warning that Tesla could permanently lose its leadership position if it doesn't adapt quickly to these tariff-created market conditions. While politicians play their tariff games in Washington, everyday Americans are the real victims here, watching their investment portfolios tank and their vehicle options disappear. Tesla's recovery isn't impossible. They could adjust pricing, expand to tariff-free markets, or rebuild consumer trust. But the question isn't just whether Tesla bounces back. It's whether any American company can survive when politicians put their ego-driven trade wars ahead of economic reality. The American EV dream is crumbling before our eyes.